Hey guys, welcome back and happy Tuesday. All right, guys. Well, we're back to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey and Brandi Glanville slamming. Do you guys remember the movie Coyote Ugly? Well, the main star of Coyote Ugly, her name is Piper Perabo. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name, but she's now slamming her as a see you next Tuesday for an alleged affair with her ex-husband, Eddie. And Melissa was trying to fact check the hell out of Teresa Giudice, and it looks like All About the Real Housewives just completely debunked that. Now, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget, we have a new episode that dropped today of Hot Messy Podcast with Kempire. So go check that out anywhere you get your podcast, and go check out the video version exclusively on Hot Messy Podcast on YouTube. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys. So All About the Real Housewives came out swinging because we know that we've had this Giudice Gorga feud for the longest time. It's like the never-ending feud. Now, Melissa Gorga thinks that her sister-in-law, Teresa Giudice, is lying about never watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey. It looks like the Bravo fans have done it again, and they are completely debunking a lot of this ish. Teresa recently appeared on Carlos King's Reality with the King podcast, where she first admitted to never watching Real Housewives of New Jersey. I never watched the show because I couldn't stand watching. And you know what? I think that's a blessing in disguise. On December 6th, an episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Teresa elaborated on recently starting to watch old seasons of New Jersey. She admitted that she was shocked to learn all of the nasty things her brother Joe Gorga and Melissa said about her over the years. But some people actually don't like to watch the show. I believe Nene Leakes was another person who said, I don't want to watch. And I think that actually makes you a better housewife because you're not carrying a lot of that animosity in. I just don't know how do you operate through the reunion? But I guess the way that you would operate through the reunion if you don't watch the episodes is because you lived it. So you don't need to watch the episodes. And they always have the packages where they do the playbacks. She said, it's so hurtful. It's so painful. I'm glad I didn't watch it before because if I would have watched it, I don't know what would have happened. Seeing what my brother and my sister-in-law, Melissa, even my cousin were saying about me at the time, it's just so painful. It's crazy how the truth comes out like 10 years later. Oof, okay. Well, just 5 days ago on Melissa's On Display podcast, this was on December 15th, she called BS on Teresa's claim that she never watched the show. Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was bringing up 10 years ago that she's now watching all of the old Real Housewives of New Jersey clips. That's what Melissa told co-star Margaret Josephs, who was a guest on her podcast. But I think that Teresa also, at the end of the day, is probably like in her mind, why do you keep talking about me? And I'm like, oh, that makes sense as to why all of the hater accounts are saying exactly what they're saying. Melissa added before noting, I don't believe that Teresa never watched the show. Melissa said that she's not buying Teresa's claims because the housewives used to have to write a detailed blog post for each episode of the show. We would have to recap the whole entire episode word for word. That's what she explained, adding that Teresa recapped everything. I don't know who was writing her blogs then. If she never watched any of the episodes, it makes zero sense. She continued with, you're digging, reaching for anything because you have nothing to be mad at. I would respect more by saying, listen, I just don't want you in my life. I don't have to make up 1,000 reasons as to why you're a shitty person, why I don't like you, and why I'm hurt. She insisted that her sister-in-law should be more upfront and genuine with her fans, saying, why do we have to hurt each other and say bad things? That's what I don't get. Well, I think by continuing to bring her up, though, especially on the On Display podcast, I think that this is all going to trigger Teresa and make her pretty pissed off in the sense that she's like, I don't owe you anything. I don't know you. She then blames Teresa for the recent hate that she's been getting on social media. They are wasting their time, and it's kind of sad, but I do see a little bit of like the old school past, like let's get, a full-blown attack going. That's what Melissa's saying. Now, again, getting back to the fact checking of it all, which is probably like this is where it gets dirty. And unfortunately, we're in this can of worms. All About the Real Housewives decided to fact check some of Melissa's claims. And surprise, surprise, Melissa's allegations have already been disproven multiple times. Fact check. Teresa was accused by the cast for not writing her own blogs because everyone knew that she didn't watch the show. Melissa even accused Teresa of this. And Andy Cohen has stated publicly that he knows for a fact Teresa didn't watch previous seasons and has called her out several times on this matter. A fact check is a fact check, okay? Now, on top of that, Brandi Glanville is slamming horrible see you next Tuesday Piper Perabo for alleged Eddie affair. And this is, well, the front runner, the main star of Coyote Ugly. And she was talking to Page Six, and this just never ends. She said that her husband was effing the actress on the set of his 2005 movie, The Cave. They did a movie together, and my son Mason was 1 year old, and I went to the set, and it was in another country, Romania, I think. Okay. And Piper was a horrible see you next Tuesday to me. That's what she added, point blank, period. She said that she became uncomfortable at the sight of Piper and Eddie's alleged interactions, and she was flirting with Eddie, like, right in front of me. And she claims, like, why am I here? Am I the only person seeing this? Like, what is happening? Oh, this just gets worse. Now, Brandi, who married Eddie in May of 2001, noted that she sought out friendships with the Cave crew members, and they kept her clued in as to what was going on set. I made friends on set, and I heard a lot of things. When asked about what she heard, Brandi said that she was told that Piper and Eddie were, well, doing the deed. And I'm sure you guys can use your imagination and kind of figure out what deed she's actually alluding to here. Well, she's not alluding to anything. She's just saying it. According to Brandi, she confronted Eddie about the alleged affair when he returned home to Los Angeles after filming Wrapped. When he got home, I'm like, I'm leaving, blah, blah, blah. I'm out. However, Brandi ultimately decided that she wouldn't throw in the towel, at least not yet. He convinced me that it wasn't true. We had a 1-year-old son, and he was the love of my life at the time, you know, and there was a lot of things that were convincing me. She also further alleged that Eddie brushed off the concerns, telling her that she was just crazy, jealous, and the whole deal. And I was like, all right, I was in love. She said that that was her choice to stick by Eddie's side. Like, I was blindly in love with this man. Now, a rep for Eddie declined to comment when this was reached out to them by Page Six, and reps for Piper have yet to get back to them despite the repeated request. This is awkward. This is awkward, and she's calling this up. I think that some people might wonder, though, too, if he's now with LeAnn Rimes, why even bring this up? But this is also a part of her story, and she's allowed to mention and talk about whatever she wants to. This is a part of her story. She can say whatever she wants. It is what it is. She was in a marriage. She shares kids with you. Should she be talking about it? I don't know. That's not up to me to decide. But for her, obviously, there was a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of infidelity. And she's like, yeah, this stuff pisses me off. And when you bring it up, I get a little annoyed because I lived through it. But I want to hear what your thoughts are, especially about the Melissa and Teresa of it all, and the Brandi Glanville slamming Piper as a horrible see you next Tuesday. What? Okay. Comment below. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget the new episode of Hot Messy Podcast. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.